Hello, everyone. MTL Sports here. Episode 156. All right, today's the big day. NBA playoff predictions, at least for round one, at least. I know we still got one more playing game. This is being recorded on Thursday, but we're going to go ahead and go through all the matchups 1 through 8 in both conferences for round one. Sounds like Lawrence has some surprises. I think you guys probably know where I lie on some of these teams, but we'll get into that in a little bit. And then also Wrestlemania, the big 1-2 nights. The year I've been looking forward to this for God, who knows how long, ever since Royal Rumble. I know Lawrence has as well. So we'll go over our predictions for nights 1 and 2, both main events, all that good stuff. So all that being said, guys, stay tuned. We're back. Let's start with NBA, then we'll work our way into WrestleMania. Round one of the playoffs, like I said, began this Saturday, I think in the afternoon. So we'll go through each conference, in the first round matchups. I think it's safe to say, though, we probably don't need to cover the 1-8 matchups in both conferences, just because I think both of those are going to be there gonna be some brooms. I think for either of those conference matchups 1 through 8. I don't know your thoughts. I think the Thunder are going to sweep whoever. And the Cavs, it might be like a 5-game series, but what are your thoughts?
I can also agree with you in the lack of needing to talk about them because I just kind of am on the same page. Maybe Cavs go to 5 games, but I don't see the Thunder dropping a single one on. If I had to guess, I'd probably say Mavs.
Mm-hmm.
Just one more, but then the Mavs have nothing for
Yeah, the Mavs, they put on a show the other night. I think they were up like, almost 30 at halftime. I think it was like 71-48. So they were kicking the Kings' ass. Kings did not come to play last night. And then same with the Heat. Even though I said to go against my Heatles and take the Bulls, it seems like the Heat came to play on, what was that, Tuesday night. And yeah, as soon as I saw Alec Burks in the starting lineup and not Davion Mitchell, I knew Coach Spo was actually going to go for it. So, and they started hitting all their shots in that first quarter. I already knew that it was a wrap. So, but I don't think the Heat are. If the Heat beat the Hawks, which is totally possible, I think they got at most one game against the Cavs. So that being said, I guess let's do 2 through 7, both conferences. Let's start in the East. Celtics, Magic. The Magic, this is
it.
interesting because the Magic have the defense, Lawrence, but they just don't have the offense. You saw it on Tuesday. The offense was clicking first half, then second half, the Hawks come rushing back. The Hawks made it a 3-point game with a couple of minutes left in the fourth. So the Magic go through a lot of offensive struggles, patches of struggling on offense. So with that being said, I can't pick them. What about you?
I think that the Magic can win one. If you look at the record, they played Boston really good. I think they won 3 out of 1. So they played them really good in the regular season. I know it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
always translate, but I believe they can get one at home. I don't think it's going to be as. I think there's going to be games that are big beatdowns. But if I would give it a 5 game series, and I think Magic get blown out twice. I don't think they get blown out multiple times, more times than that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and agree with you. I think this is a 5-game series, maybe 6 if they hit their shots in 2 of their home games, and maybe they can get to 6 games. But I think they're overmatched offensively. The Celtics, they're gonna chuck up threes, bro, and for the most part, they're gonna hit them. And then they still got those 2 guys, Tatum and Brown, that can score all 3 levels. So I don't think the Magic, as good as their defense is going to be able to stop them. It's going to take a complete game for them to beat Boston, and honestly, Boston's just going to have to shoot bad from 3, which they are prone to doing at least once or twice in a series. So that's where I'm giving them at least 1 or 2 games. Moving on to the West, we got the Rockets, Warriors. I think the Warriors are favorites in the series. I think they're close to 200 favorites. Last time or at least when the odds first came out, I think they were almost 200 favorites. Um, I'll let you go first. This one is honestly, this is really hard to decide on. I could see this one going either way.
So personally, for me, I put money today on a future for the Rockets to beat the Warriors, just
Okay.
because I don't like how much you know the money line is going on the money line. But the overall win for the Rockets is really good. I think it was a plus 170, 170, 165. I got it for earlier. So like it was good value. I can see it happening.
Mm-hmm.
Reasons I can see it happening is the rebounding department and the length department. And I feel like the Rockets can put a guy on Curry and then like change your focus to Butler. Like I feel like it can be done, especially with how long they are. And outside of that, like I watched Draymond just absolutely brick a layup. I can't be trusting that man. And then you look at the other part, they said the bench only scored 16 points. It's like, oh, so we can't be trusting them. So what are we thinking about here? And then I get it, it's a big moment for the Rockets, but they're like long, they're tall. The thing the Warriors always kind of want to avoid is what they are, which is just tall, long teams that are going to get them multiple shots at the basket.
Yeah, I agree. I think Memphis's downfall going back to Tuesday was them playing Zach Edey. I wasn't banking on that. I was hoping, hey, maybe they'll go small, but their small ball version is way bigger than Golden State. So if you just have Jaren Jackson at the 5 and you put your shooters out there, then I feel like they would have a better chance. And you could tell once Zach Edey got in foul trouble and it was mostly Jaren Jackson playing center. The Grizzlies were playing pretty good until Ja got hurt, so that's kind of their downfall. So I expect the Rockets to do very similar matchups with the Warriors. Probably have Sengun at the 5 for the most part. I know you got big Steven Adams, but you don't really need to play him this series. It's not a really good matchup. And the Rockets, they got some dogs, man. I mean, I can't even though they're young, a young team can still win a playoff series. And I've always said since the trade, I don't think the Warriors have enough. Now they played well with Jimmy. I think they're like 23-8 or something like that with Jimmy. Maybe 24-8 now after the play-in win. But I think the Rockets just have too many young guns. They're hungry. They don't know any better. Um, and they're the underdogs, which is a little probably frustrating for them and probably put a chip on their shoulder. So I'm gonna go Rockets in 7. I think this goes 7, and I think the Rockets just win because they got home court. Um, but I mean, it's honestly a pick me, but I'm just gonna go against the Rockets, and I'm going against Jimmy Butler. I don't want him to win a playoff series. And
All
that's
right,
what
so
it comes down to.
similar things. I did take him to win straight out, and then I also took him 6 round win. Took him in the 6th round.
Yeah, I can see 6 games, but I think if I was a bet man, and I probably will put some money on this before Saturday, I think this goes 7. But yeah, I think I'll take the Rockets as well. Next up, the 3-6 matchups, a little more interesting, especially in the East. Knicks Pistons. All right. The Knicks have not played the Pistons well. The Knicks have not played any of the top teams in both conferences well. Um, honestly, the Pistons just match up really well with the Knicks. They got the size, they got the athleticism. They got a dog in Cade that can match Jalen Brunson's production. So honestly, this is a really tough one as well. I want to hear your thoughts.
So I also believe it's a tough one, but I also believe that the Pistons are not fully there, which is completely fine. They feel like they're much more advanced than most people were going to give them any kind of
Yeah.
credit they were going to come into the season with. Playoffs were not what most people were thinking they were going to, based on last year's production. However, though, the Knicks, regardless, I don't think it matters because either one of these teams that wins is getting stomped the second round. But I think the edge goes to the Knicks because I think when they are all there functioning, and I think that the one thing they can kind of overcome is the center position because Cat can get it done probably just enough in order to get him over the hump. I'm just gonna give it that because what you see from the Pistons like center group is not a whole lot of production. It's getting people into foul trouble. Now, Cat is really good at getting foul trouble, so you got to loop
Yes.
back to that.
Yeah, I think that's what it comes down to is can Cat control the paint without getting into foul trouble early? I think that's what the Pistons are going to try to do, try to get into foul trouble. Then you got to. I'm assuming Mitchell Robinson is healthy and playing, but who knows with that guy? Um, but I agree with you. I think the Knicks they have to win the series. Like I don't think there's any ifs, ands, or buts. I think if they lose, um, 1 year after the trade, I think there's probably someone's getting fired at the very least, and then you're probably gonna have to retool because I don't think they can do much with the roster they have right now if they can't make it out the first round. So if they lose, they're gonna have to do some serious thinking about retooling, maybe shuffling some guys around. I don't think they want to do that. So I got the Knicks in 7. I think the Pistons can push them. The Pistons, like I said, very good matchup. They're long too, just like the Knicks. They got some dogs in the paint with Dern and Stewart. They're gonna rebound, fight for the rebounds and put backs for Cat. And they got Cade. As long as Cade, at the very least keeps his production. You see right here, 26 points per game, 46%, 47% shooting, shoots well at the free throw line, rebounds and assists pretty well. As long as he stays at the same amount, even if he does give you a little bit more, maybe he gets to like 28, 29 points per game, he'll be a problem because Jalen Brunson can't guard this man. And probably vice versa, to be honest. So I think for the Knicks, it just comes down to can McHale and OG give you more than their usual regular season performances. They're going to need to step up. One of them's going to need to average about 20, 25 to help out Jalen Brunson. If not, they're probably going home, bro. I'm just going to be honest. But I'm going to pick the Knicks.
True that.
Moving on to the West, though. With the 3-6 matchup, Lakers, Timberwolves. You already know what I'm gonna go with, so I'm just gonna let you
No,
get your
no,
two
no,
thoughts
no,
out, and
no, no,
then
no, no.
I'll
I
just.
want you to go first because I want to just I want you to go. Just put your whole spiel out there because I know you've been thinking about it all day and you've been talking about it all day with your coworkers too about the Lakers.
Yeah, I mean it don't matter. Timberwolves, Gray Wolves, Red Wolves, Lakers in this much. All right, I'm serious. Lakers in 5. I don't think the Timberwolves got a chance. I'm not front running. I'm not. Some people think I'm glazing. I'm not glazing. The Lakers are just way better than the Timberwolves. Uh, on all aspects, I think they're gonna outscore them. Timberwolves have the same problem as the Magic, right? They have offensive struggles. I don't think Ant-Man shooting 10, 11 threes a game is going to help him out too much. That's probably what JJ wants him to do. Hey, let Ant-Man get his. We're going to shut everyone else down. I don't think they have a consistent, reliable second option. Meanwhile, the Lakers have a three-headed monster that I don't think anyone can stop. Maybe OKC, but we've seen in the regular season that OKC. I think they lost. They lost at least one to the Lakers. I think they might have lost twice to the Lakers. So I think even OKC would have a tough time. So, um, yeah, I mean, I don't give the Timberwolves a chance now. Can they get 6 games off on the Lakers? Yeah, the Lakers might slip up and lose a game they should win, but I think this is a Lakers in 5. I think Unk is spoken this into existence. I don't see the Timberwolves, especially with Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert, he's unplayable, and yet he's going to be a defensive player of the year candidate, but he's going to be unplayable in the series, which is just hypocrisy. Like I don't understand how you can be defensive player of the year and can probably going to barely get minutes in a series. Like that doesn't really make sense to me. But hey, I don't have a vote, so that's just my 2 cents. But yeah, with that being said, is Nas Reed and who else they got? DiVincenzo and Julius Randle, who we know disappears in the playoffs. Are they really going to be reliable teammates for Ant-Man? Nah, they're not. Let's just be honest. So I think Luka's going to turn into playoff Luka. Goat James is going to do what Goat James does. And AR is going to be AR. And we're going to take this one in 5.
All right, all right. So I never had anything I was going to say great on the behalf of the Timberwolves. I just
Nope.
really wanted to hear your most fired up self. So I do agree with you, but I also think it gets done in 6 games. And then I think in the 6th game, Ant-Man just has the game of his life, and it doesn't even matter. But I think they can push him to 6. But if you want me to discuss the series, you kind of laid it all out there. Gobert, he's just gonna mess it up. You're paying all this money that could go to like another asset of the team, and it can't because you're a liability in certain matchups, and this is one of the biggest ones ever. So they're not gonna have any way to stop LeBron or Luca from going off. So you have to choose one of them, and that's just a you know, bad recipe right there. So I really honestly give them lack to no chance, but I think they can push the series.
Fair enough, yeah. And even if you look at it defensively, yeah, I don't think, okay, your best defender is probably McDaniels. You probably put him on Luca. Ant-Man's a good defender. Probably put him on who? LeBron or AR? And then you
Hmm.
still got one more guy to worry about. I think it's just, like you said, a bad recipe,
Yeah,
something
it's
that
just a
not a lot of
bad
teams can
matchup,
do.
but you pick this kind of pothole, if you will, when you have Gobert in your team.
No, you're right. You're right. I said my spiel on Gobert. No need to bash him anymore. I don't have any more bashing to do tonight, at least. Um, that leaves us with the 4-5 matchups in both conferences. Uh, let's start in the East. I think the West is the juicy matchup. Bucks, Pacers. Now we got some developments. Dame Lillard has, I guess he's been cleared of his blood clot, so I think his health issue is no longer going to be an issue going forward. He is ruled out for game 1 at least. I guess they have to just double check and make sure that it doesn't come back or something. I don't know too much about blood clots, but he's out for at least game 1. So I want to know if that changes your outlook on this series. Because before he was ruled out of the first round. Now it looks like there's a chance he might come back at some point. So what do you got for us, Lawrence?
So because of this development, based on the way they were talking about his progress, like he's already doing 3v3,
Yep.
I wouldn't even care if they don't play him the first 2 games. We don't even play man until you come back to Milwaukee. And because of that, I'm going to take the Bucks in 7. But I think Giannis gets
Ooh.
one. I think Giannis gets one in Indiana. It goes back to Milwaukee, 1-1, and it goes from there. But I think it's a good series. I think they're almost all close games. And I think Dame time really comes to light because I get he had a blood clot in his leg, but like it's not like I'm sorry, it's not like Lillard just became like unathletic and lost all his ability to play. Like he didn't, and they're like, oh yeah, but he had to sit around and do nothing. I'm like, okay, he sat around and did nothing, but like he didn't do nothing. Like and all he had to do was like he took blood thinners, he figured it out. They went and checked back in. It cleared itself out. There are ways to like cleanse it and clear it out. He was lucky enough that they caught it early enough, and if you think a few months is going to make his like energy levels or anything, like, well, I highly doubt it. I think he's going to get in shape real quick. He's already doing 3v3s. It's just going to be a brand new series 3 games in.
Wow. Okay, I did not expect that. I didn't think you were gonna pick the Bucks. I mean, it changed my outlook a little bit in terms of I thought the Pacers would probably win in 5 or 6. Now I'm thinking the Pacers probably win in 7, depending on how soon Dame gets back. Like you said, if he comes back and it's game 3 in Milwaukee and it's 1-1, then yeah, I think it's a pick me at that point. But I would still lean Pacers. So I'm gonna go Pacers in 7. These two teams matched up last year in the playoffs, and the Pacers kind of just blew through them. Even this year, they've played the Bucks really well. I think it's just a matchup thing. They just play them really well. The Bucks are old and slow. The Pacers are young, fast, love to get up and down the court. They don't play much defense, but I think in the playoffs they'll hunker down and play a little bit more defense. You got what's his name? Pascal Siakam out there. Obi Toppin's playing well. Ben Matherin's, I think he's playing this year. So they got a couple pieces that weren't playing last year that are playing, and they still got for the most part the same squad. So I just think they match up really well against the Pacers, and they have all the experience. So you can't say they're young guns and they don't know any better. Nah, they know better. They went to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. So I'm gonna go Pacers in 7. I'm gonna go opposite. Our first disagreement here, but I could see this going either way, honestly. But I'm leaning Pacers.
So my hot take is for the Bucks. I feel like they not bench, but I feel like they put Brooke Lopez into the second unit in this matchup strictly because Bobby Portis is like as healthy as an ox. Like, dude, this guy just got to work out and get paid and not have to play because
Suspended.
yeah. So and he's fresh as hell. He is a little bit quicker and a better transition game uh, preventer for the for the Pacers. And then honestly, the magic that happened with who's the little white boy for the Bucks?
The Bucks or the Pacers?
The Bucks. Who just had a 40 he had 40 plus 40 plus points.
Oh, Pat Connaughton.
I feel like when I think he's a great matchup for oh man, who's the Pistons backup point guard, the one who can
TJ
steal a lot.
T,
TJ
TJ
McConnell.
McConnell.
There you go.
Yep.
Perfect matchup. Like, dude, just throw him on him. That way, our guy can get some rest. I feel like if the Bucks actually play their pieces right, I feel like there's a lot of different things they can do to try to, as we need to say for them, get younger. I think there are pieces there that can do it.
Hey, fair enough. I think that's a good thing to point out right there. Yeah, the Bucks are no team that if they lose in the first round again, there's gonna be some serious discussions. I mean, you probably have to fire Doc, probably, but maybe not. But you seriously got to think about retooling because 2 years of Dame and Giannis, and you can't get out the first round. That's very, very disappointing. So we'll have to see. Well, this is something we got to monitor. Going to the West, the last matchup of the first round. 4, 5, Nuggets are 4, Clippers are 5. Clippers, honestly, hottest team in the NBA right now. Not saying the Nuggets fear the Clippers at all. I'm not saying that, but Clippers are playing really well. I can't lie. Kawhi, as long as he stays healthy, I think will be a problem. But it's a big if. So, who you got in this one?
Okay, in this one, I got Clippers in 6.
Oh,
I think Clippers are as hot as it can be. If unless Lillard gets hurt or Harden gets hurt, I feel like there's just so many dynamic ways they can pelter and beat the Nuggets. And honestly, for me, the Nuggets just haven't been looking it to finish the
nope.
season. And I feel like Zubac can do a pretty decent like job on Jokic while Jokic when he comes out of the game, they literally stop. They're just two different teams with him and without him. And then without him is god awful.
I mean, you're not wrong.
So I feel like the Clippers have plenty to get the job done, and that's why I'm gonna roll with them. I feel like Leonard, Harden, firing on cylinders. Zubac goes out there and gets you 15. That's all I need, buddy. Norman Powell can in a few games can get you 20. That's all I need from you, pal. Uh, it goes down the line with them. Batum, can lock down if he gets really into the game. These are things we need, man.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I think we're gonna go opposite again. I'm gonna go Nuggets. I'm gonna go Nuggets in 7. I think Jokic is playing way too well. Um, Now the rest of his teammates, they're up and down. Coach got fired. Mike Malone. It's a whole shit show. David Adelman, his first playoff series. Been a head coach before at the NBA level. Has only been assistant. His first playoff series. How does he do? We'll have to find out. Um, Nuggets close out the season on a 3-game win streak, so they got some momentum. But the Clippers, I think they won like the last like 8 or 9 games. They on a roll. I don't fault anyone for picking the Clippers. I think they have more than enough firepower, like you said. Batum, Powell, Harden's playing at the All NBA level. Same with Kawhi. He just has to stay healthy throughout the series. Um, Ty Lue's the better coach in this series, but I think the Nuggets. I think they got a lot to prove. I think they gotta, you know, they're gonna prove at the very least, they're good enough to keep the core together. Maybe they don't need a major retooling, like a lot of people are suggesting. Like we suggested, like what, a week or two ago.
Yep.
So I think they're gonna go out and win just because of that. Then the next round, they probably get thumped by the Thunder. But for now, I think they can take the Clippers to 7 games. I think. I mean, they're the 4 seed, so they got home court, so they got that going for them. They play well at home. What's their home record? 26-15. So they got that going for them. They always play well at home. Especially in the playoffs, they're tough to beat at home. So with all that being said, I'm going to pick the Nuggets in 7. I just got to hope that Jamal Murray and the big three, Jamal Murray. Jokic is going to show up, but Jamal Murray and Aaron Gordon, if they can show up and just be their playoff selves, then they got this one. But if they fail to rise to the occasion, then yeah, Clippers got this in 6 or 7.
Alrighty.
That's my spiel. Yeah. So the first round's gonna be for a couple weeks, so we'll probably just dibble and dabble here and there, update you guys on the results of some of these games. So second round shouldn't be until probably early May. So buckle in. We got a lot of playoff basketball to watch. I'm excited, and so should you. Now WrestleMania, like I said, this Saturday and Sunday we got 2-night event. It's been that way for a while. Personally, I've been really excited. I don't know about you, Lawrence, but I've been waiting for this for a while, and I think they finally got the card down. Like what, a week or two ago, they got the full card down. Um, and it's pretty stacked. I think night one's probably more stacked than night two, but regardless, I think both nights are going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, so you were telling me earlier, even though I'm not gonna be able to watch night one probably until like really late,
Yep.
which might be the better time to watch it anyways, but you said the night one is gonna be stacked. Give me a rundown how you think it's gonna be stacked. And I definitely can watch night two. But she says it's gonna be the more celebrity one, so I just want to hear your take. Like, I know you're way a little bit more deeper than me, always watching them pay-per-views to its full extent.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, where do we start? I mean, the night one main event: Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Seth Rollins. This has been cooking since last year. If you think about it, they had the tag team match: Rock, Roman versus Seth and Cody. Rock get the final boss. Roman kind of beat that ass. Seth kind of renewed his rivalry with Romans. Tried to hit him with that chair shot in night two last year. Um, and then Roman tried, super punch the hell out of him. And then this year, the little feud continued. Started with CM Punk and Seth Rollins in the beginning, right after WrestleMania. And then it kind of got back together towards the end of the year, trying to bring all 3 storylines together. So I think this is gonna be a great match. Paul Heyman, he's gonna be in CM Punk's corner, so it should be interesting to see how that dynamic goes. But Heyman apparently owes Seth Rollins a favor. We still don't know what that favor is. just yet. Does he cash in at the match? Does he cash in the Raw after WrestleMania? I guess we have to watch and find out. But who wins though? This is a tough one. I don't think Roman wins. I don't think this is going to happen. He doesn't have his bloodline to help him out. So we're gonna have to go CM Punk's and Seth. And I think from that perspective, I think CM Punk's gonna have a nice little run in the next year or so. So I'm gonna go CM Punk wins this one. But that being said, I'm still very curious about what Seth's little favor is. Any thoughts about at least the night one main event?
For the main event, I also agree with you. I don't think Roman gets the pedestal to catapult back to the top immediately. And I think Roman's gonna ride it out. Like he was just in the fire, you know,
No.
taking all the punches. I think he's just relaxing and chilling for the moment. No, I also agree with you that I think it's gonna be CM Punk because they had to push him or push whatever they have left out of him right
Yeah.
now because next year he's gonna be too old and we might see the downfall of his career because you never know. But we got to give him his best shot possible, and I think it's gonna be CM Punk's night. I think it's gonna be Seth Rollins' favor. I think it might come later on. I think it might even come even later. Just
Mmm.
not popping the question. Because what pay-per-views are coming up after WrestleMania?
Well, we got Survivor Series after I think in May. So next month, I think we got Survivor Series. So uh, if the storyline is still going, maybe it happens next month.
Yeah. Or he attacks him right before and it's a favor. So,
Yeah, I definitely could see that. Women's WWE Championship, Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair. I'm not gonna go too much into it, but I think Tiffy wins. I don't think Charlotte, can just automatically jump right in and win the title back. I think that's a little lame. Now, it's very obvious she was gonna win the Royal Rumble. Her winning her first championship match, coming back off of her little injury hiatus or whatever, I think is again a little too obvious. So I think they'll probably hold her off winning for now. Maybe it's a thing like she wins in 2 or 3 pay-per-views from now. But I think Tiffany Stratton probably rides the wave a little bit longer. I think she's a fan favorite, so I think she'll keep it for a little bit longer.
yeah, I agree
um,
with you on that one.
Now this is I think this will be the match of the night. LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu. The Samoan Werewolf. I think this guy is crazy. Lawrence, he all the acrobatics, all the wrestling moves. This dude's legit. I think Fatu is gonna beat the hell out of LA Knight. I don't think there's any way around it. I don't think LA Knight, another fan favorite, but I think Fatu is just as big as a favorite, and it's time for him to have a nice solo career. I think him being attached to Solo and who's the other guy? Tamatoga. Him being attached to those guys. It's all cool and all, but I think he needs to have a little shine of his own. So I think this is where it starts. What are your thoughts?
All right, cool. Personally, for me, I've always thought that LA Knight was a little overrated. Sorry, not sorry. No, 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 sorry. Haters come out. But
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I never really got the whole draw from him. And it feels like a really good time to push one guy's career forward. And from the looks of it, from the outside a little bit on LA Knight, it looks like he has the crowd behind him. So giving him, passing on him, stepping into maybe a bigger spotlight, he can stay the high mid Carter, and they'll get away with it.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I think he could lose a belt, but still, be a main eventer. Like I said, be a high mid card. So I don't think him losing is going to be a whole big deal, but we'll have to see. Jade versus Naomi. Gonna be a good match. Don't really know too much about the storyline, to be honest. I just know Naomi just attacked Jade that one night. They had beef ever since, so should be fun. Um, the tag team championships, the War Raiders versus New Day. I think this would be a good match. I think Big E comes out and costs the New Day winning the championship. But other than that, I'm not too really big into the tag team championships right now. I don't think they really have good teams, to be honest. So, not really. I'm not gonna say I'm not looking forward to it because I am, but I'm not too invested into this one.
Personally, for me, I haven't been invested in tag teams recently. I just don't think tag teams are kind of at their high point in this era of the WWE.
Yeah, I agree. They kind of,
I kind of just skip their matches too. I'm kind of a hater.
yeah, they gotta reinvent some of these tag teams. To be honest, El Grande Americano versus Rey Mysterio. This one is just kind of like a random match. I did not see this one coming. But I guess you got to have one Hall of Famer having a match in WrestleMania. I think it's just a thing. So they picked Rey Mysterio. He's still in good shape, still wrestles pretty well. Versus some guy who's definitely not Chad Gable, but is Chad Gable. I don't know what they're trying to do with this character. It's a little weird, but hey, I'm here for it. And then Gunther versus Jey Uso. I'm kind of upset that this isn't the main event. But hey, it is what it is. I think Jay deserves it. I think Jay will win. I think Gunther, meanwhile, he's a good wrestler, bro. I don't think he's not good at promos. He's not really good at the cutaway stuff. So it's tough. It's tough. You want to reward a guy who's good at the actual sport, but everything else he's kind of subpar. Meanwhile, Jey Uso's kind of the opposite. He's good at everything else. The wrestling is hit or miss. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna glaze. It's hit or miss. I think he kind of botched a spear a couple weeks ago. A lot of people pointed it out, but hey man, he's the crowd favorite. He is the favorite right now. He is not the face of WWE, but he's probably the guy. He deserves to win. Let him have a solo championship for a little bit. Don't screw him over like you kind of did last one. Let him hold it for about 5 or 6 months.
5 or 6. Yeah, I think that's okay for Jay. I do like to yeet when I walk around, so I would like to see Jay. But I honestly get you as well. Dude, for me, when I have to hear Gunther try to like promo, it just
Yeah,
kind of irks me and rubs. I wouldn't say rubs me the wrong way, but definitely pisses me off a little bit. I don't know what it is. There's just something about his promos that just does not work.
it just doesn't work, and I think he's trying to switch it up, and he's trying to do multiple things, but it just doesn't come off well. I don't know. He's just not. It's just hey, some people can't. They can't do it all, and he's one of those guys. Night two, I think, like I said, there's some good matches. Honestly, I'm only looking forward to Cody Rhodes, John Cena. Um, the match of matches. I'm excited. Hey, Pat just put out there that Stone Cold will be on the show tomorrow. So I think there's a very good likelihood that he's gonna be one of the surprise guests at WrestleMania during this match. Does he help out Cody Rhodes? I'm assuming so. I don't think him and The Rock got the little feud going on from the back in the golden days. So I don't think he's going to help John Cena at all. He should have been there last year. A lot of people were upset, so I think he's going to make it up. Las Vegas is in his backyard, basically. So I think we'll see an appearance there. Other than that, I don't know how the final boss plays into this match, Lawrence. Maybe you have an idea, but I do think John Cena wins. I think he wins. I think you got to give it to him. I think he's going to break the record. And Cody's character is probably going to change a little bit. But I think you got to give Cena the chance to win it now because how are they going to pull it out of Triple H's ass or The Rock? How are they going to make it so he wins it before he retires? Like, I don't see it not happening on Sunday night.
I'm kind of with you. This is Cena's last chance to win it, so he's gonna win it. I still don't understand the Rock move as well. Like, is it like one big loop around for them to have one final send off against each other as well? But then also, like, I don't need that. Like, I'm okay with that never happening. It's not something
Yeah.
that eats at me inside that I want and need to see happen.
Yeah, hey, I'm here for The Rock, and any more matches you want to do, but him versus John Cena, I don't need to see. What we need to see is Rock versus Roman, which I think they're working towards, but they kind of got to get some of these things out the way. Um, but I just don't know how The Rock is going to play into this main event. Um, so should be interesting. I did want to point out the Braun Breaker versus Penta versus Finn Balor versus Dominic, the Fatal 4-Way for the IC Championship. I think this is probably the second best match of the night. No shade to the women's title match. I think that'll be good, but I think this will be the second best match of the night. Um, Penta's a fan. He's become a fan favorite too. But Braun Breaker, he's a dog. Like he's a dog. I mean, did you see the spear he hit? Carlito, what was it last week or 2 weeks ago? Like he
Yeah,
killed that man.
that was awesome.
He killed that man. So I mean, I want to see Braun win this one, but something tells me that Penta, with all his momentum, I think he might got this one.
Well, I'm not gonna say you're wrong because I'm also think you're completely right in your um, outcome of this match. I think Penta is cool to watch on TV, and it's like the perfect time to push him because there's like a lot
Yep.
of luchadors that are also popping off, and I feel like there's a storyline you can create with them.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think if we have all the luchadors fight for the IC championship after this little match right here, I think that'll be a good storyline. Um, and the rest of the night, like I said, there's some good matches, but definitely not as stacked as night one. So, I think Damian Priest wins. I want to say AJ Styles wins just because he doesn't wrestle a whole lot. He's definitely a part timer now. Um, and the women's tag team, I honestly don't know who's going to win. Don't really have a thought about that one. So,
My only thing with the Logan Paul fight is I feel like Logan Paul has to start like actually fighting more often, and that might be the reason
yeah.
why he wins this fight, just because they honestly need to push him in more storylines because he doesn't be getting a lot of much of anything. He just be popping up for the main events.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. He needs to up the part time status. You ain't gotta be a full timer, but can you at least wrestle on Raw or SmackDown every once in a while? I don't think he has enough cachet to be a part timer like he's trying to be right now. So we'll see. But yeah, that's the rest. That's the end of the card. Hopefully, guys, you will watch and enjoy just like we will. Other than that, Lawrence, you got anything you want to shout out? Anything else we got to look forward to this weekend, sports wise?
Sports wise, no, the NHL playoffs are going to start soon. Um, they've already locked up. They got a few games left, but none of them really matter. I really haven't gone into my bag, or my, yeah, I haven't gone in my bag yet to check on my NHLs, but I will have something for you. It will be after the series or the series have started, but nevertheless, you will get something of what I think is going to go down in these playoffs for the NHL.
Nice, nice. Do you at least have a prediction for the Caps, the hometown team? I think they're the number one seed in the East, right? Do you have at least a prediction for them?
So personally, for me, strong feelings that they're getting out of the first round with ease. Okay, maybe not say with ease, but I think they can take the Canadians, especially at home. The Canadians do suck a little bit on the road. They they did squeeze and they were the last team into the playoffs. I think the Caps have strong chances. Second round, I think it gets a little more dicey. We'll see when those matchups come up. But if I did have a dark horse going into it, I would probably pitch one of my dark horses at like the Blues. The way they finished off the season, it was just red hot. You can't do much better. The Panthers, they were pretty much all you could think about at certain points of the season. I think they have good matchups. Another one is Ottawa. We got to give them their respect, but at least you might say, "Oh, why Ottawa?" But they got the Maple Leafs first round. Maple Leafs always mess up somehow.
Fair enough. Fair enough. We'll catch you guys up on hockey next week. It looks like after it looks like some of these series start on Saturday as well, right?
Yes, sir.
Good times in sports. But with that being said, guys, we're gonna head on out. Thank you for watching us on YouTube. Thank you for listening on Spotify, all that good stuff. MTL Sports episode 156. We will see you next week. Have a good one. Peace.
Peace out.